Good afternoon, third gen friends. What we've got here is a 1988 Camaro with a 2.8 motor. We've got the Harbor Freight gauges hooked up, and I will admit that I have no prior experience working on air conditioning. I've read some, watched some. Doesn't sound like it should be that complicated. But anyhow, I've been playing around with this and running the motor a bit, and you can look at these gauges and the numbers are pretty high. The high side, just static with the car turned off, is about 125, and the low side also is 125. This is old components on here as near as I can tell. They may be original. I don't know. I'm not the original owner of the car. But anyhow, we've got the gauges, knobs turned so that we're reading the pressures there. Coming over here to the connections, and I believe I've got them right. High sides here, and valve is open. Low side here, valve is open. And you may see it's shiny around here. We had a little incident a few minutes ago with the high side, and that's why I've got a diaper on it. It started spewing and bubbling, and just a huge mess coming out from here. I don't know if I didn't have it tight or what was going on, but made a big mess. So if it does it again, we've got a diaper to try to control it, because I don't want to just keep cleaning up under the car. But anyhow, it's not blowing cold air in the cabin. The compressor cycles and it sounds like hell, and we're going to turn that on here in just a second, and you can hear the noise that it makes. So I may have multiple issues going on here with this system, but I would really appreciate any input you can give me as to what the next steps are. I have a new compressor, I have a new dryer that I can install. I've got a vacuum pump, so I can draw a vacuum pump on the system. I'm not adverse to spending the money that needs to be spent to fix this, but I'm a little confused right now. So enough of me jabbering. Let's go in here and start the car, and you can hear some of the noise that it's making. Okay, you might notice that the console is all out. That's because I've been cleaning things up and doing other stuff. But anyhow, coming down here to the control panel for the AC, and I'll also mention that the blower doesn't work on all settings. But what we can do just initially here is we'll turn the key on to the on position, and we'll turn the knob to the max position, and listen. I hear the blower turning, but when I come up here and put my hand in front of the vents, I'm not feeling any air coming through. I put it over to the defrost setting. Come up here. Not really feeling anything. Yeah, actually I am feeling something coming through up here in the defrost. Yeah, definitely feeling that now. Alright, put it on the bi level. Got nothing in these vents. Okay, no air coming through. Normal setting. Not feeling it. Max setting. Same thing. I'm hearing the blower. I hope you can hear it. The blower's turning, but it's not blowing. I mean, it's not blowing through these vents up here. Now, if I turn it to high, it turns off altogether. But the next notch down from high works. Next notch from there works. And on the low setting, it sounds like it might be turning. Maybe. But anyhow, for this test, let's put everything on off. We'll put this onto the highest blower setting that we know actually turns. Let's start the car and listen to this hellacious sound that the compressor makes. This car does not idle smoothly. It's got motor issues. I've been working on those. But that's not what this is about. It's about just trying to get this AC to work, because I don't want to work on this motor if I can't have AC in the car. I want working AC, then I'll go back and work on the motor as needed. Alright. Hear that rough idle. There's the tachometer. This, by the way, this is a V8 tachometer in a V6 car, so it's probably reading a little low. Alright. Now if I turn the AC system on, that will cause the motor to speed up a little bit. So let's move it to the max setting. Alright, let's move around to the engine compartment. The compressor sounds like hell, doesn't it? And it keeps doing that. It keeps stalling. Let's see if I can crank this up, because I want you to see the pressures on the on the AC gauges. It's convenient that it cut off for me. This guy is hot, and I'm not seeing condensate on any of these lines here. This, the high side, which if I sound like an idiot, I'll dare say this. This is the side that I think goes into the evaporator. Okay, it goes into the bottom of the evaporator, goes up through the evaporator, and comes back out into the dryer. If I've got that right, on the low side. And then feeds back around to the compressor. If I've got that backwards, somebody just tell me that I'm an idiot and that I've got it backwards. But anyhow, it just seems like with that much pressure in the system, these lines, at least one of them, ought to be a little bit cold. And they're both just hot as they can be. Just hot as they can be. And I'll also mention that when this gauge, the coupling here, started spewing, I checked it. I checked that coupling, and it felt like it was tight. And I was careful when I engaged it, and I've been running it some, and it wasn't having any issues. And then just suddenly I was actually in the cabin trying to get a thermometer in one of the vents when I saw all this cloud under here. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So I came out here and I saw all this gurgling splud and leak detecting, the yellow stuff just going everywhere. Made a big mess, and I've done what I can to clean it up, but cars are not really a thing of beauty. So so why are all the lines hot? That's the question. I'm stumped on that. Why do I have these pressures up to 400 on the high side, but nothing in way of any cool lines? I'm confused about that. Real confused. So need your help, guys. If you would please. Sorry for the long video. We're almost at the 10-minute point, so that's probably about the limit of most people's patience to listen to me complaining. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to your help. Cheers.